Hey guys, this is Take It Out, and today we are going to be finding out if both the iPhone 5 and the iPhone 5C are still usable in 2021. So why am I combining these videos? Well, both of these phones essentially have the same hardware, although the iPhone 5C was released a year later alongside the iPhone 5S and it shipped with iOS 7, whereas the iPhone 5 shipped with iOS 6. They both share the same processor, that is the Apple A6. They both have a rear-facing 8 megapixel camera and 1.2 megapixel FaceTime cameras. They are also both compatible with up to the latest version of iOS 10, which is iOS 10.3.4. The iPhone 5 was also the first phone with the new design of the 4-inch display as opposed to the previous 3.5-inch display on the iPhone 4S. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to tell you right off the bat that all of the stock applications are still usable. We are going to be testing Safari to see how it holds up to modern websites, but other than that, all of the stock applications are still usable. So let's go ahead and test app compatibility, and then we will test Safari to see how it holds up. Okay, so jumping straight into the App Store, we are going to see which apps are still able to download on this iPhone and which ones you may have to download an older version and which ones may not download at all. Okay, so starting with YouTube, let's see what happens. As you can see, we have to download an older version. It should still work. We are going to test that here in a minute, so let's download some other apps here. Instagram, same thing. Minecraft, same deal. We'll see about Among Us. As you can see, Among Us will not download as it requires iOS 13.0 or later. So let's just try one more app. Same deal, have to download an older version. Okay, so all of the apps have finished downloading, so let's go ahead and test them out. So it seems like YouTube is working even though it is not the latest version. Third generation is still usable in 2021. Yeah, it seems to be working perfectly fine. At its launch, the iPad was available in 16. So let's go ahead and move on to Instagram. Unfortunately, none of these are the latest version, but it seems like they're at least usable, so if you have to use this older phone, it is at least usable. So this is the one video game that I downloaded to test, which was Minecraft, but even it is not the latest version, so you may not be able to play online with your friends if they use a newer version. I'm actually curious to see how the graphics perform. It doesn't seem to be too bad, just based off first glance here. So, I mean, it's not terrible. It's certainly not as smooth as the newer devices would play it, but it's probably about 30 frames per second or so, I'd say. But it's definitely playable. Now, if you were to try to host a multiplayer world, it would likely start to lag as that takes more CPU to actually host the world. So Minecraft is definitely playable, so let's go ahead and test the last app, which is Amazon Prime Video. Again, not the latest version. I have been in the middle of watching Psych. It's a detective show, but it will work just to test the app for now.
They brought their warrant in my house.
So it seems to be working just fine.
Previously on site.
So you can skip forward. It's not too slow or laggy. So it's definitely working, and you can easily get older apps to run on the iPhone 5C. So last thing, let's go ahead and test Safari, just see how it holds up with some modern websites such as Apple. Just test it for a second, see how it works. Seems to be loading pretty well as far as I can tell. So some of the page has not loaded. I'll give it a minute and see if it loads. So I refreshed the page and still nothing. There's still a few images missing, it seems. But let's go ahead and go on to the next website, which will be eBay. Let's just search for an iPhone 5. So you can buy them for about 50 bucks, as you can see here. And the page seems to load pretty good. So Safari is at least decently usable on the iPhone 5C and the iPhone 5. So are the iPhone 5 and 5C still usable in 2021? Well, technically yes, because you can still download older versions of some apps and use them, as well as all the stock applications including Safari are still usable, and you can still make cell phone calls and FaceTime calls and use iMessage, stuff like that on these iPhones. But would I recommend them? Probably not, as you can buy an iPhone SE, the first generation, for not much more than what you pay for these, and you will get fully up-to-date iOS 14 support. It may not be supported for iOS 15, but for not much more you can get a fully up-to-date phone as of right now. But either way, if you're on a tight budget, you can definitely use these phones, or if you have one sitting around, like say you dropped your main phone and you had an older iPhone 5 sitting around, these are definitely usable, at least for short-term use. So anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and drop a like, as well as subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so you never miss any future videos. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comments below and I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. Anyways, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.